Resolution 2021-1004. To the Honorable Rick Brewer, Chairman and member of the Hawkins County Board of Commission in regular session met this 25th day of October 2021. Resolution reference approval of change of pay for recovery court coordinator proposed amendment. Whereas the Hawkins County Personnel Committee met on September the 24th, 2021 and discussed the position of recovery court coordinator, which is under the purview of the General Sessions Court judge. During the meeting, it was discussed that this position is partially funded through a grant from the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, with the remainder from county funds earmarked to provide treatment services to individuals with substance abuse issues. Currently, the recovery court coordinator is on the pay scale as a pay grade 7. The committee discussed that the position requires at least a bachelor's degree as well as a vast array of duties, and there is concern that no one will desire the job as the pay grade and qualifications, job duties are incompatible. And whereas the recommendation of the full Hawkins County Commission is the following changes occur to the position of recovery court coordinator. That the position of recovery court coordinator be removed from pay grade 7, and that the position of recovery court coordinator shall be placed on the pay scale at a pay grade 9. That the General Sessions judge shall have the discretion to place the recovery court coordinator at a pay within steps 1 through 4 at pay grade 9. Therefore, be it resolved that approval be given for the following: that the position of recovery court coordinator shall be removed from the pay scale, and the pay for the position shall be a pay grade 9, pay within steps 1 through 4, effective on the passage of this resolution.
Motion by Commissioner Clontz, second by Commissioner Weininger. Ms. Goins, you're on the board.
Yes. Okay, so you guys, I just don't like one thing in this wording. I think that it should not say on here that it should be removed completely from the pay scale. We're saying that it's pay grade 9, so that may have been a typo, but I think it should say shall be. This part right here should just be taken out completely, that the position shall be removed from the pay scale. I'd like to make an amendment to amend that, for that to be removed. I'm fine with pay grade 9. That seems to be, I checked with other local social worker positions. I know you all mentioned Knox County and places like that, but I checked the state of Tennessee social worker positions, and this is a county position, and it has a state retirement and a state insurance. And I do know that it is also money that is through a grant, but I'm just thinking that everyone should be treated fairly all around, and I also feel that we should not deviate from the pay scale, because there's a reason the pay scale was put into place, was because of the fact that it's supposed to be used. So pay grade 9, I think, pulls it up to $33,000 and something, and is that right, Judge Ross? And I think you're also
Depends on what step, I guess.
yeah, well, step 1 was 33 something, and I think it went up to 30. I circled it. 38 something. So, I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I feel that's sufficient pay for that type of position at this time.
Would you restate your amendment?
Yes, I would like that whole line, that the position of recovery court coordinator shall be removed from the pay scale. I'd like for that to be struck.
That's not one.
That's not the one he read. That's not the one he read.
He was reading that one.
He read the one that.
You read.
Pay grade 9. He read the
I swear I
proposed, he read the proposed
But
amendment.
it also says down here that it be removed from the pay scale.
I thought you said something about pay grade 9.
Yeah.
He read the proposed amendment, you should have read the other.
Miss Goins, she's right, it says that on both of them. So, there's a motion to
Did you
amend.
not read the proposed amendment?
But that ain't going in here.
That's the
If
one
I
right
can
there.
remove, I
Agreed.
think I might be able.
You read the proposed amendment, right?
Is that the one that we're voting on?
That's what we're voting, that's what he's made the motion.
But I will point out, in what he read, it said both things, which doesn't make sense, so. It does say remove from the pay scale and put it on pay grade 9. It was, the intent was, when I went to the personnel committee to ask for assistance with this, was basically just told them, here's my issue. And the recommendation was they want to send up the resolution to take it off the pay scale. I made a comment at that point that I'm afraid some of the commission won't want to do that.
Right.
Can we send an alternative, if they don't want to do that, put it on a higher pay scale than 9? So when it didn't get heard last month, that's when Eric asked about putting it on there, basically putting both things on there, that either remove it, or if y'all want to remove it, then move it up to a 9. So I think that's how both of them ended up on there. I just want to be able to get someone in there, because
Get back to the second on this, so we can.
So we are still proposing. I just,
You want to take the first part of where
Yes.
down there under therefore be it resolved, you want to take the first part of that number 1 out,
that
right?
position of recovery court coordinator shall be removed from the pay scale.
That's the amendment.
Because as Judge Ross said, that's saying two separate things in one line.
The
I'm
amendment is,
good with it being pay scale grade 9. And to
We're on the new one.
the amendment is to delete that first part of that paragraph. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner DeWitt.
But this is-
Now we can have some legal discussion. Is anybody on the board that wants to speak on that, or you want to speak on the amendment?
So you're saying that we're on the new one, we're not on this one over here that he read?
No, we're not on the new one. He read the proposed amendment.
This is fine.
Which was he
It's
supposed
the
to read?
one that's highlighted new,
They said-
that might
The
not be
one that
what
was
you
submitted
read.
was the one that says, was one,
So this is just for no reason. We just extra paperwork.
Let's stay in order, here, and who's on the board first to speak? I'm sorry. Mr. Housewright, are you on the board to speak? Do you want to speak on the amendment? Okay. Does anybody, Mr. Fields, you want to speak on the amendment?
I won't speak on the resolution.
Is there any discussion on the amendment? If not, we're ready to vote on the amendment?
You better clarify to the rest of the commission which one they're voting on, the one that says no or the other one, because
It says,
I don't
the
know
one
what
that-
it says, but half the commission thinks one thing, half the commission thinks something else. We shouldn't have had two if we weren't gonna read two. We should have been one read altogether, nothing else.
Alright. Commissioner Clance read the one at the top that's in the book that says proposed amendment. That is the one that you read, am I correct, Commissioner
That's what
Clance?
I thought was supposed to be here.
Okay, that's the one that we're voting on, okay? But Commissioner Goins has amended and it has a second, and if there's no discussion, we're gonna vote on the amendment.
okay.
We ready to do that,
1 second.
That's not our resolution.
Yeah.
I guess it's my fault, it wasn't explained good enough,
You read,
so,
he read the one that has 3 points under the whereas.
Yes.
And then under the therefore be it resolved.
I think it was okay either
All we're
one,
doing with
but-
the amendment is taking out the wording
Sorry.
that says that the position of recovery court coordinator shall be removed from the pay scale. Take that line out and start it with the pay for the position shall be pay grade 9, pay within steps 1 to 4, effective upon passage of this resolution. That is picked up that therefore be it resolved from the other one. And it's saying two different things.
Are we ready to vote on the amendment?
I'm gonna make a motion.
We have to vote on this. What do you do?
We gotta vote on this amendment before any other motion to amend can be made. We're ready to vote on the amendment. If there's no other discussion on the amendment.
Do you think you can get a candidate at pay grade 9?
I don't think so.
A good candidate?
I would say that people come to the state of Tennessee and work, and they start out at $28,000 to $30,000 a year, and they're good
She
employees.
keeps saying social worker. This is not a social worker position.
Technically, it's a social worker.
I guess you know more about it than I do.
All right.
I'll just let you speak, I'll be quiet.
All right, we're gonna vote on the amendment.
That's the one you read.
Cindy, you ready to vote on the amendment? Vote on the amendment. Everybody understands the amendment, right? Okay.
Yes, board, no again.
I'm not got any.
Sorry.
Effectively, it's gonna stay in at grade 9. We're gonna step one.
Vote.
12 yes, 8 no.
Okay, now we're back on the resolution as amended. Mr. Housewright, did you have a?
Yeah, I have a question. What I'd like to ask Judge Ross, could you explain to us your information, the difference between, or the coordinator, and let's say the qualifications between both, and let's say the veteran service officer, in your opinion?
I don't know what the veteran service officers' duties are.
Well, just, what would you say, just your opinion?
Well, you asked me to compare the two. I don't know what the veteran service officers' duties are. I've not reviewed those. You guys work for me. I don't know. I don't think that's fair. I mean, I don't know what his, I'm
Where
not
I'm
seeing his
getting
job
at,
description.
okay, here's where I'm going with the analogy of this.
Okay.
Because qualifications, is what a bachelor's. What's qualifications for the position that you're requiring?
Bachelor's level position. They have to be certified to perform different assessments with people to determine whether or not they're acceptable to be in the program. What is their addiction level? What's their likelihood of recidivism? They gotta do psychoeducational histories, things like that. Go back and socioeconomic things. They prepare reports. They have to be able to input data into the 10 WITS program that keeps up with all the data throughout the state. They, does MRT classes, so you have to be certified to do more recognition therapy. She actually does counseling with the participants. This is more of a mental health position.
Where I'm going with this, okay, veteran service officer. The reason you're standing there and all of us, for our freedom, they chose to, some of them have lost their life, okay? Where I'm going with this, the veteran service officer, I don't think it's funny.
Well,
You know, they lost
I
their
don't know if
life.
that's to do with any, this
I'm
is a
comparing
recovery
an
plan.
analogy, let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Veteran service officer is went in the services, qualified, okay, and to give you the next one now, in my opinion, this is my opinion. It's like the service clerk in our, she stuck at pay grade 6, she took Danny's place when his wife was battling cancer, died. She can't go any further. Some of the employees in the courtroom and everything like that, all the years of service, okay, they're maxed out. How, this is my opinion, okay, veteran service officer, a clerk should not make more than a veteran service officer, and the veterans that have risked their life to give us our freedom. That's where I'm going with that, the pay. Okay, do you agree?
That a clerk shouldn't make more than a veteran service officer?
A
Pay your veteran service officer more money? I don't know what, I have nothing to do with the veteran service
But what
officer.
I'm getting at is
She's not a clerk.
the rate of pay is okay, you want pay grade 9, you have the discretion, waive it off the pay grade, then 4 levels and pay grade 9. I just don't, I don't agree with that.
Okay. I'm gonna answer your question, pay the veteran service officer some money, I guess.
No.
I don't know what.
Well, what I'm
This
getting at-
program, I created this program, I got it certified through the state, I got approved for a grant. The money that pays for this program comes from the state of Tennessee and from work costs paid into the clerk's office. It can only be spent on treatment programs. This money cannot be spent on the veteran service program. I guess I'm missing the.
I think what he's trying to say is that our veteran service officer is highly qualified and he does a lot of things for the veteran, be mentally or physically helped.
I think that's
But
wonderful.
he's just saying that we do not pay our veteran service officer.
I do a lot for veterans in my court. I've got a veteran mentor program in my court that he volunteers his time and helps a lot of veterans through my court. I help veterans every day in court. I love our veterans and I appreciate everything they've done. There's no coordinate, there's no,
Well,
it doesn't make,
my opinion,
it's like an argument.
yeah, that's.
I mean, if you think he's not being paid enough, then make a resolution to give him a raise. I mean, that has nothing to do with this
What
one.
I'm getting at, I was comparing the analogy.
Mr. Harrell, you're next on the board.
I call for question.
Question's been called for. Is any objection to the question?
Question.
Okay, we're gonna vote on.
Okay.
Am I-
Two-thirds vote
Yep, it takes 2/3 vote.
to, call for the question, be sustained.
Yes.
Start the vote.
So Nancy, or Nancy, Cindy, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Would you call the roll for yes, yes for the question, no to continue the discussion?
Okay. Commissioner Albus?
No.
Commissioner Barker? Tell me again, y'all got me so
No,
confused. I don't know what I'm-
yes means you want to vote, no
Call for
means we're
question.
going to keep discussing.
Yes. Commissioner Barrett?
No.
Commissioner Brewer?
No.
Commissioner Bridwell?
No.
Commissioner Clontz?
No.
Commissioner Davis?
No.
Commissioner DeWitt?
No.
Commissioner Edens?
No.
Commissioner Fields?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibson?
No.
Commissioner Goins?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Housewright?
No.
Commissioner Jesse?
No.
Commissioner Kern?
No.
Commissioner Roach?
No.
Commissioner Talley?
Yes.
Commissioner Thacker?
Yes.
Commissioner, she's absent. Commissioner Weininger?
No.
Motion for question fails. We'll continue discussion. Who is next on the board?
I don't know, I erased them, I'm sorry. You just click in again. I thought we were
Commissioner
moving on.
Roach.
Judge Ross, do positions of this stature competitively in Northeast Tennessee, would pay grade 9 give you a competitive pay rate so that you could hire someone that would be qualified?
I can tell you that, I tried to contact the lady at the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services and asked if they kept records of what coordinators make. And her response to me was that no, that the salary scales are up and down. Right now, there's an open position, I guess it's still open, in Hamilton County for a mental health coordinator. They have multiple specialty courts there. But that's advertised at $80-some thousand a year for that coordinator position. I know that's Hamilton County. I know we're never gonna pay anybody that kind of money here, but, what she said was that what they think the average is throughout the state is probably somewhere around 50. Now, I don't think we'll get 50 here either. I don't have 50 in my budget. I don't have a blank check. I've got the grant and I've got the treatment fund. I can only spend what's there. I'm not here asking you all to give money. I can only spend what's available to spend. And that's still not enough. We're still out doing fundraisers for our foundation to be able to do things for our participants beyond what the county gives us. I mean, there's not this unlimited amount of money out there, and I'm asking you all just to keep funneling money into this program and pay somebody. That's ridiculous. There's only so much money there. I have certain things I have to do. 36 is probably gonna be pushing it, because that's gonna probably take between that and insurance and retirement, that's gonna take the grant, basically. That's probably the 50,000 is gonna be eat up. So that leaves the treatment fund money. Well, that's just what we collect each year from court costs from drug cases. Each defendant that's convicted of a drug case is assessed a, I think it's a $70 or $75 fee. That money goes into the court, it goes into the treatment fund here. Before I started the recovery court, any money that went into that account at the end of the year was sent to Nashville and then sent to other counties that did have recovery courts. None of the money that's being spent on this program has ever or could have ever been spent in Hawkins County. I brought the grant money in and I'm keeping the treatment fund money in the county. So I think I can get somebody for that. I mean, that's comparable to maybe not a master's level therapist at Frontier, but it's probably comparable to someone with some experience working, like the person that's working with the Chinrocks program in Sullivan County. That's comparable to what they're making there.
Judge Ross, may I ask one follow-up, please? For this amount of investment, could you talk about some of the successes of your program, just so that we have an idea of what we're, maybe not, we're not investing Hawkins County money, I understand it's grant funded, but still, yeah, just can you talk about some of the successes of the program?
I'm happy to, and I mean, one of your assistant manager at the Humane Society just graduated from our program, and you know, she just hired another person that's in our program that's working there, and you know, and what, you know, I was looking at some statistics today. Our drug of choice for our recovery court people is predominantly methamphetamine, which is the hardest one to get people clean off of. I think it's like 2% of people, and I think I saw that on her thing the other day. I think the stats like 2% of people that are on meth that get clean stay clean. 2%. I mean, that's not. And so if we help one person get clean, get their kids back, get a place to live, get a job, and contribute back to this county, somebody that has been in and out of our jail multiple times, and that's all they knew for years, and now they're working for a facility in our county that gives back, and they're giving back to us. I think that's amazing, and she's the only one we ever helped. It's worth every minute that I've spent, every dime I've spent of my own money, and certainly every time that comes in through these grants. So, I mean, we've got people. And you say success, I mean, there's big successes and little. You know, there's people who were in the program for 2 or 3 months and did well, and then maybe not now. I've got people in Knoxville that, sorry, I'm still coming off my COVID thing. I'm not feeling very well, so it's very. I've got two ladies that are currently in Knoxville, but they were discharged from recovery court because they couldn't make it. They needed more than that. So we didn't give up on them. I put them back in jail for a while, and then I sent them to a program in Knoxville, and they are currently, they're still there. They graduated the program and stayed on, and they're now working for those programs as house managers, helping other people that we're sending. I've got a lady in Alabama that running her house down there and has for several years that her mother used to message me all the time, please don't let her out of jail. At least I know she's safe there. And now she's running her own recovery house. So, you know, we're making a difference, not just through recovery court, but community justice too. And again, that program is provided by Frontier Health through a grant as well. So we're doing all these things to keep people out of our jail, to get people off of drugs in Hawkins County, keep people from driving down the roads that you're going to take home tonight, that your families are going to take home tonight. And we're getting people that are on drugs off of those streets and making everybody safer. And all I'm asking is for me to be able to hire someone that can come in and run this program. I mean, it's just kind of frustrating, to be honest. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Waniger.
I'm gonna try to say all this without crying, but I know I'm not gonna be able to. I've been looking for the right opportunity for a while now to quote Rick Brewer. And when we were voting on turf for the football fields, over $1 million, Rick there's a bunch of football players here, and he said, you know, if you vote no on this, then you're telling these football players that they don't matter. Well, I don't know about y'all's family, but mine is eat up with addicts. It is eat up with it. And this is one of the few chances they have of getting their life back on track. This is the one man who's trying, and I know that you probably have a lot of failures. We failed within our own family to help our own. But like you said, if we give him the discretion that he needs, let him hire somebody good at this, and maybe it will just save one. And I know that all you all have to have addicts in your family. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. And if you don't have any, I'll let you share some of mine. And I just feel like that this is the one time that if you ignore this or put it in a paper, you cannot hire a good candidate, then you're telling all those addicts they don't matter. And they do. They do.
Thank you, Commissioner Lonnie.
And I'll just tell you, I had a wonderful coordinator for years and years and years. And, you know, when she came on at the beginning, she had a master's degree. She's been working where the pay scale is now. And this isn't a 9-to-5 job. These people are calling at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, all the time. There's always a crisis she's dealing with. She don't get any extra pay for that. But, you know, I couldn't have asked for anybody better. But circumstances are what they are. I mean, at some point you have to make a decision. Do I keep working for this, or if I can go make $11,000 more doing something else, do I go do that for my family?
Absolutely.
So I understand that. So I lost, you know, I can't replace her. There's no way. Am I gonna find somebody as good as her for pay grade 9? Probably not. Probably find anybody anywhere. But I gotta find somebody that can come in that knows how to put data in for the teammates, that knows how to do these assessments, that knows how to write the reports, that knows about the guidelines, and that has experience. This isn't a job where I can bring in a fresh college grad and come in and say, here, run this program, deal with these people that have been using meth for 15 years. This isn't a job like that. I mean, that's.
Commissioner Fields.
Mr. Roach asked most of my questions, thank you, sir. One right quick, Judge Ross, the grants, what happens if, what are you gonna do if it runs out? Will it run out? Could it run out? I mean,
The government, state and federal government have been dumping more and more and more money into these programs every year for years and years. And, you know, I didn't make this up. I didn't make these programs for these.
Oh, no, yeah.
So, and the reason they're putting more and more money into them is because they work. I mean, it's a lot cheaper for me to have somebody in this program and get them off drugs, get them into the workforce, and keep them from getting arrested again, than it is to keep putting that same person back in our jail over and over and over and over. Or for them to go out and kill somebody, or steal, or hurt somebody, or stab somebody, or shoot somebody, or whatever while they're trying to get drugs. I mean, these programs work. They save money. I'm a faculty member on the National Association of Drug Court Professionals. I do trainings for other drug courts. The last one we did in Florida, their county commission, and I think I put that in an email, their county commission fully funds their drug court program to the tune, I think, of some $400 and some $1,000 a year, paid for by county money, not grants, because they understand how these programs are and the value that they bring to the counties they're in. They understand that. So they pay that money.
well, I guess that sounded like money that I didn't make for it, sounded like I was talking about. I mean, I guess I was asking a personal question. I mean, what are you gonna do? Will you keep on doing this, I guess is what I meant.
I started with zero money.
Well, that's what I meant, not the money part, just,
I mean,
how do you
the
do it?
first year, I didn't have any money from anybody except myself. So if we needed stuff for the program, I bought it.
But you would keep on even if the grants were closed, if as
I
much
mean,
as
I
you
could
could.
hire somebody, so,
Yeah.
you know, if the grant goes away, what happens to this program? I guess it goes away. Because unfortunately, it doesn't sound like, if it were to happen, I don't think anything will be done here, but maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think the grant's gonna go away. In fact, when I asked the lady the other day, because I told her I was having problems. I said, I don't know if I'll be able to hire anybody. The lady in Nashville's trying to increase our grant. Of course, it's not just up to her, but, and I don't know, I emailed her earlier today and she hasn't responded. So we may, I don't want to promise that, I didn't want to bring it up. We may be getting some more money, I don't know. If we do, then we can do more things with our people. But right now, it's bare bones. I mean, I've got a worker, you know, we can't do a whole lot. We got people who, you know, we got somebody that needed tires a few weeks ago because he couldn't get his tires looked like this countertop right here. And we were afraid he was gonna have a wreck. So, you know, I called Mr. Bundon over at the bargain barn, and he helped us. And we took money from our foundation, my 501c3 that we started, and bought him tires for his car. You know, and that's the kind of things that we do with the foundation money. There's no money here to do that because it all gets eats up by the salary and those things. So, you know, we're trying our best to help these people and put them in a position to get better. And that's just where we are. If the grant goes away, what happens? I don't know. I hope it never happens. I don't think it ever will. So, if it does.
Like I said, that was more of my question, was like, what you talked about the tires and stuff like that. I guess I worded it wrong. I didn't want it to sound like money or anything, because it wasn't about the money, it was about what you were doing and what was going on and how you were helping and what you do with that. You answered that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do a little fundraisers throughout the year, trying to get some money to help them get teeth pulled if they need them, or clothes, or food, gas, you know, just things that they need that we all take for granted. That, you know, I've got a guy in our program that couldn't stay with his own family because he had somewhere he could stay, and he's gotten a job. We've got him a job. He's working, and he's got a place to stay now, stable. But for the first 2-3 months, at least 2 or 3 months that he was in our program, 3 or 4 nights a week, he was sleeping under the bridge over here. And he's still making his probation appointments. He's still going to counseling, his IOP, passing his drug screens. You know, that's who we're working with. And if I can't help somebody like that, Lord mercy, I don't know what we're doing. So,
Thanks, sir.
Commissioner Burke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Ross, one of the requirements is a bachelor's degree. Would you care to, in your opinion, what field of study would this individual hopefully have, or what's the recommendation?
something along the, you know, social sciences, psychology, you know, those kinds of things, like a mental health. I worked at Frontier Health for 7 years before I went to law school. So, you know, I've got a bachelor's in psychology, I've got a master's in marriage and family therapy. I worked there as a case manager, you know, even a case management position at Frontier Health, somebody that just goes out and checks on people or makes sure they goes to their appointments, or, you know, whatever. Those people are required to have bachelor's degrees, you know, from college to work at Frontier Health at an entry-level position, not having near the responsibilities of this job. So, I mean, just something relevant, but more importantly than the degree is the experience. You know, I've got to have somebody that knows how to deal with people suffering from addiction, that knows what resources are out there in the community so they can plug them in with the right people in the right places, and knows what kind of counseling this person might need and who they need to go to, and, you know, those kinds of things. So, you know, someone with just a bachelor's degree, that's not, I mean, it's something that's needed because it gives them that foundation. That's not what is going to make a good coordinator. It's somebody that knows how to work with people and understands people suffering from addiction and knows where to plug them in and how to get them resources. I mean, that's, I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay. Is the requirement for a bachelor's degree, is that something from maybe the state? Or?
I think that's probably just a pretty standard thing for this type of position. This isn't McDonald's or Taco Bell. I mean, no offense, but the only person in this room right now that's qualified to go and do that job is right here. But she did it. She knows what she's doing. She was overqualified when she came, and she did it because she wanted to help people. She loved this county. It's a hard job. And you have to know what you're doing, and you have to know a lot of things. This isn't an easy job. I don't know. It's not putting traffic tickets into a computer. It's not that. This is a hard job.
Thank you, Judge.
Commissioner Alves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Judge Ross. This program does work. The lady you're referring to, the assistant manager out there, she assured me several times that this program, if she hadn't got in this, she would be dead. And through this program, she is straightened up, she got her kids back, she's a fine employee. Thank you, it works.
Commissioner Barrett, would you assume the chair just a minute? I've got a question I want to ask Judge Ross. Right now, Judge, are you able to take everybody in that's qualified for that, or you haven't turned people away?
Right now, I haven't even allowed anyone to apply in the last several months.
But if
because I didn't have
you
a
get
point.
this position, are you gonna be able to take enough people in, or are you gonna have to turn people away, I guess is? Or is that a question that you can answer? You don't know?
Well, I don't understand, maybe, well, I have to turn people away. We always have to turn people away based on various things. I mean, I don't know, are you saying that we have to turn them away because we won't have room for them?
Right, that's what
Okay.
I'm trying to ask.
Not for a while, because our numbers right now are kind of low. COVID caused problems. Because a lot of the support group meetings, AA, NA, Celebrate Recovery, a lot of those kind of shut down for a while. A lot of your counseling, IOP, things like that, they shut down for a while. So that causes some problems. And this is a program that, you know, minimum 12-month program, but we've got people, you know, more than 2 years that have been in there. So if you have like last year where we were kind of had all the problems and we weren't really advised to take new people and all this, you know, so when you went through that period of time where you weren't taking anybody, it messes up your numbers, because we can't take a bunch of new people all at once, because it's too much. You know, they kind of have to trickle in, because the ones that are in the upper phases help with the ones that are in the lower phases. So we had a whole bunch of phase 1 people, too much on them. I don't think anybody would be successful. And as far as that goes, if you apply for it, you don't get in, say you have a violent conviction or something, so you may not qualify, or you're we're supposed to take highest kind of worst. Okay, so lots of times people will apply and we'll say, well, they don't need this, they just need intensive outpatient or whatever, or we may take them and say substance abuse isn't their main diagnosis need, they've got a mental health disorder, so then we may send them to a dual diagnosis treatment program in Nashville or somewhere, through community justice. So, you know, just because somebody applies to our program and doesn't get in, we don't just say to them, well, good luck. You know, we work to find them a place that can help them.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'll make one other comment, Jeff, and thank you. You take it up and continue out, but, you know, this is a program that it ain't costing this county not one dime. I mean, I understand about the drug money, and, you know, very few programs out there that saves the county money, and it's actually saving the county money. So you need to consider that when you vote about this tonight, and I support it fully. And I thought that's so.
Okay, looks like Commissioner Barker, you're next.
I think we beat this to death. Let's call the question and get this on.
Okay, got to call for the question. Any objection? Okay. Everybody ready to vote? On the resolution as amended. Okay, everybody's clear? Cast your votes.
All right, yes, 18-2,
Okay,
passes.
motion passed, 18-2. Mr.